So a recommendation I always give my clients whenever I'm working with them and they're going down that route of offering like a free lead magnet. Let's say it's like an ebook or a guide, and they're using like, the typical thing where you add numbers to it, like the 7 mistakes entrepreneurs make that's preventing them from getting more clients, or the 7 foods you shouldn't eat if you want to lose 10 pounds in the next X amount of days, or the 12 secrets to et cetera, right? Kind of those kind of things. Usually, it will look like this. You will have the opt-in page where you offer that free guide or book. Once they opt in, they then land on a sales page where you basically make them kind of like that first offer. It could be to buy a program, to sign up for a webinar, a challenge, buy something, or just take a next bigger step than that first one that they just took, right? Now, a lot of times, people who showed interest in that free guide that you're giving them, when they land on that sales page, a lot of times they're not going to buy. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not interested. Life simply happens. They most likely opted in for that free guide to check it out later because they weren't in a moment right there where they could just sit down and even read it right there and then, much less are they able to look into if they really want to take this next step with you, right? Or maybe they were interested and someone rang their doorbell, their dog started going insane, their baby started crying, or maybe they were about to check out at the grocery store, maybe they were being irresponsible, opting into your stuff while they were driving. A million things could happen, right? Maybe they were at work, but you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't be doing that kind of stuff when you're at work, right? So, what can you do in order to keep reminding them, right? To keep fresh on their mind about what you're offering here without kind of being annoying, right? Now, of course, you could do retargeting ads, but there's a really cool method that you could use, and this is what I recommend every time I work with anyone or anyone works with me. I always make them take an extra step and do this, right? So once they opt in and you're going down that route of those numbers, the 7 mistakes or the 7 steps to take, whatever it is, take advantage of the fact that you have those numbers there and create a video for each of those steps. So like that, you increase the value, which even increases the potential of them opting in the first place. So you could tell them, download this free guide of the 7 mistakes entrepreneurs make that's preventing them from getting sales, and also include a 7-day video series that they're going to be receiving in the next 7 days where you go way deeper into each of those steps that you're mentioning in your free guide, right? So what you're going to do once they opt in, you're going to send them to an email list, which is typical, because usually when they get that first email, that's when you give them the book, right? And in that email, it's going to say, your free guide is here. When they click on it, that link, which in most cases, most rookies out there, it would just be like a PDF to download the guide and that's it. No. When they click on it, they're going to go to another page. We'll draw it over here, kind of small because that didn't make a lot of room. But when they click on it, it's going to go to a page where there's going to be some text where they can download the guide that you promised them. But it's going to also include the video for day 1 of your 7-day series or whatever number of days, depending on the number of steps that are in your guide, right? And in that first video, at the end, you can make a call to action for them to go back to the sales page if they're interested in more information or to take the next step, and they could go and potentially take the next step. In most cases, it's purchasing something or signing up for something. On day 2, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to do day 2. Same thing. When they click on it, now it's going to be day 2, video number 2, 2nd mistake entrepreneurs make, blah, 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 blah. They go and they watch that video. has a button at the bottom with a call to action. Click here if you want to take the next step. That redirects back to the sales page, and so on. And you basically do that for the rest of those days, increasing the strength of that call to action, adding scarcity, using takeaway methods, whatever you want, right? So right there, you have a follow-up sequence for the next X amount of days, instead of just hoping they'll remember that they opted in that first day. Chances are they're not going to remember this. Again, it's not that they're not interested in your product. Life happens. There's a lot more going on in the outside world than them being, potentially taking action on your thing here. So that said, there's another thing that you absolutely want to do. This sales page, right? The first time that they opt in and they land on it, usually you're going to have a video there. I strongly recommend you do have a video there. And in that video, obviously you're going to tell, hey, your free guide is on its way, right? And then you go into your pitch. So you want to do something, you want to say some very specific things, right? When you tell them, hey, your free guide is on the way, the next thing you want to say is the following. And let me explain why. You want to make it about them. How do you do that? Think about when someone first meets you. Out of courtesy, out of habit, they usually say, hey, so what do you do? And they shake your hand, right? Truth is, they don't really give a crap what you do. It's just a common courtesy or culture thing, right? They don't really care. However, to make them care, you make it about them. And how do you do that? Something very simple. You simply go, well, you know how? You use those words. You know how? Because it immediately throws it back to them. And what comes after will depend on your market, on your niche. Who are you trying to target here, right? So you could go, well, you know how a lot of entrepreneurs struggle to get new customers, and when they do get them, they're just a bunch of unqualified tire kickers. Guess what? They're going to be like, actually, yes, I do know. Tell me more, right? If you're in real estate, well, you know how you can kind of get a lot of real estate leads, but they're just never qualified. Or you know how parents are struggling to make ends meet and they're debating in between sending their kid to childcare or one of the parents just quitting the job because it costs more than what they earn. Yes, I actually do know what you mean because I relate, right? So you're going to start that video with that. So again, hey, your free guide is on the way. You know how, et cetera, right? That's going to be that first video that they see after they opt in. Now, you're going to make a second version of that. And that doesn't mean you need to record it twice. There's a reason why I told you to make that pause. You go, your free guide is on the way. You know how? Because then you're going to simply recreate that video by cutting out that first part that says your free guide is on the way. Why? Because when you're sending these people back to that sales page, you don't want every time for them to go back and be like, hey, your free guide is on this way. It doesn't make sense. It seems lazy. You want them to start with the strong video that talks about, hey, you know how, et cetera, so they can relate to it right away. That's the video you're going to send them to. That's the page you're going to send them to in order for them to take action. It's a simple step, but it's 2 different pages. The second reason you're going to do that is because take yourself out of the internet world for a moment. Let's say you're at a get-together, at a party, at a networking event, and you meet a very potential customer, right? A prospect. And they're interested in working with you. You want to be able to send them to your domain, right? Whatever your main page on your domain is, which should be that sales page. So let's say it's timpitzenbarger.com, right? I want to be able to say that. It's like, hey man, I'm really interested in taking, the next step with you. I want to be able to tell them, perfect, go to timpitzenbarger.com, for example, and sign up there. I'm not going to tell them or send them to timpitzenbarger.com, and all of a sudden them looking, it's like, hey, what's this about this ebook or this guide? Oh yeah, in order to take the next step, sorry, you have to opt in and get this free guide that it's no longer needed because you already technically became a lead. It doesn't look good, okay? Also, if there's ever a scenario where, maybe it is the type of potential lead or prospect that I should give them the ebook, well, then I'll simply make a path for the ebook that says, okay, cool. Yeah, just go to timpitsandbutter.com/free guide. Okay. So that other page, we'll put it over here where all of these videos are going to redirect to. Make it your default page for your domain. Okay. So that's going to be your main sales page. Do not make your default page where they want to opt in for the ebook. Do not send these existing leads after you make the call to action back to that second sales page where it talks about them receiving the ebook, because they already got it. Don't be lazy. Send them to that main sales page, which is your domain's default page. Okay? So in summary, if you're doing this method of offering a free guide, a free ebook about X amount of steps to take as a lead magnet, first thing you want to do, make a video where it starts about, hey, your free guide is on the way, you know how, etc., etc., etc. Behind the scenes, when they get that first email to download the ebook, put the link there, but when they click to download it, it's going to redirect them to another page in your funnel, which is going to have the video for day one with a call to action. Call to action meaning you tell them to do something, to take the next step, so they could click and potentially buy your product or sign up for whatever it is your step 2 is, right? And for the next number of days, you're going to do the same thing. Bonus. On these pages where these videos are, this is what I love to do. I'll try to squeeze it up here. Actually, I'll add a new page. I'll make it real big here. On these pages where this video is, here's the button where the call to action, CTA for call to action. Above that video, you want to tease them with the other videos for day 2, day 3, day 4. All right, say these are the videos here. They're going to want to watch those, but what you're going to do, you're going to put a little image of a padlock on top of it. So a little lock here. A lock. I know it's hard to see what those are, but picture little padlocks, right? And under them, you're going to say next video available tomorrow on this next one right here. That's going to keep them expecting that email to come from you. So instead of it feeling like you're spamming them, they're actually expecting it. Very similar to like Russell Brunson calls it a soap opera sequence, where you kind of leave a cliffhanger for them to expect the video the next day. And you let them know, hey, be on the lookout for tomorrow's email with subject line XYZ. You do the same thing. They're expecting those videos, and you let them know it's going to be available the next day. So they're searching for your email to watch part 2, part 3, part 4, or whatever you said in that video. All right? I know it's a lot, but I hope this helps. If you know anyone that's kind of doing this method, you think this could help them, feel free to share it to them or share it with them. See you next time.